Switch it.
Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Salty Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Adam Newell from Up and Adam. And then, of course, Monica, I always ask you if you need an introduction.
I do. I do.
Do you want me to do it?
Because some people might not know.
Oh, okay. Hold on. I'm like lifting the bubbies and everything. Monica Garcia from the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And if you guys don't know her from that, then you probably know her from Reality Von Tease, one of the biggest troll accounts on Bravo. Great. There you go.
That was so good.
Yeah. Wait, so today I wanted to do something different with you.
Oh, okay. What?
I'm sort of infatuated. Last week when we talked on the first episode, which by the way, so many people have responded so well to that first episode. I'm going to share this. Oh my God. I'm going to share this because a lot of people were asking, where do I find it? Blah, blah, blah. Guys, now we're putting up the video on Up and Adam channel 2 where you can see us actually talk. If you're not listening to it on the podcast, anywhere you get your podcast, if you go to TV and film, it's under Up and Adam, but Monica and I hit number 17.
Yay!
Just past, not skinny, but not fat, and just under my friend, my soulmate, my podcast.
So exciting.
Is that not such a big deal?
No, that's so exciting. That's so cool.
I'm so excited.
I would not have guessed that at all.
17? And I'm like,
incredible.
I don't know how you are, Monica, but I'm like one of those assholes that I'm never happy. I'm like, if I'm 17, I could be 15. Be 12.
No, I am very much like 17's amazing. I'm so happy.
Oh.
I'm like glass half full.
I like that. Listen, it's a good, healthy balance.
Each other out. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But going through like the podcast, and last week we were talking about me doing interviews and stuff like that. And I obviously took a hiatus from doing interviews, and sometimes I really miss it, but it was like a lot of the backlash that I got, which I'm sure you can heavily relate to, because sometimes in the comments, people get awful, right? And, you know, like it really kind of stunted my growth when it came to interviews. And now being able to have conversations with you, it's like you lived it, you were in it. You know, I obviously can't share too much of my experience with anything as of right now, but with you, you went from being a single mom. Did you have a job?
I mean, okay, so just a little bit of my backstory. I actually worked like in an actual corporate job for a very, very long time. And I quit doing that when I had Kendall, my youngest, because they were like Irish twins. It was like boom, boom. And so I was like, I just need to be home to take care of them. Daycare would have been insane to have like 2 infants, and it just didn't make sense. And then that's when I started the baby company. And so it wasn't really like a 9-to-5 job. It was just kind of, you know.
What the hell is an Irish twin?
It's like when you have babies so close together, like within like 15 months or something like that, that they're pretty much like twins. And they call them Irish twins.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
An Irish twin. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I was like, I've never heard that. So
really? Yeah.
No. I didn't know if you had a job, like a real job outside of TV, you know?
I used to. I did. I really did. I worked for Stevens Henniger College for like 8 years. And then I worked at a marketing company it's called MRM McCann. It was downtown Salt Lake. And I did that up until I gave birth to Kendall. So.
Well, then from that point, you end up going into reality television. So I was talking to Jason, guys, for those of you who are listening, maybe if you're even coming from Monica's side and you don't know me, Jason is my husband. And he was an athlete. He was in Cirque du Soleil and all of the things. And I always
I always forget that. I always forget he did that.
I know. I mean, he performed for the Queen, did all kinds of crazy shit. But
wait, Queen Elizabeth?
Yeah. At the Royal Albert Hall. Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yes. Front and center. Prince William, Kate Middleton, all of them were there watching him. Isn't that wild?
Gosh, that's so insane.
I know. I think about it and I'm like, man, he's so lucky to have me. Anyways. I'm just kidding. But what I was getting to with this is that I noticed that a lot of athletes and maybe reality TV stars, like when you leave a show, when you're on the show, what is it like? Is it a high? Is it like, give me all of the emotions being on the show from the time that you film it to the time that it airs, and then the fans reaching out to you. It has to be some sort of like, it's like the best drug, no?
I see what you're saying. I almost feel like it's so weird because I almost feel like I don't even have a right to answer this because I only did it for 1 year or like 1 season even. And even though it's been longer, right? Because from when you film to when it airs to like reunion to BravoCon to, I mean, there's so much time in between, but it's still at the end of the day, I literally filmed for 1 season. So it's kind of like, who the fuck am I? Like, I'm literally nobody. I have the least amount of experience. So I definitely feel like, who am I to even talk on this? Like, I don't know. I guess in my
You're
head,
Monica fucking Garcia Rodriguez Jimenez.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I mean, for me, it was so fast that I don't even really think I had. I mean, it was like the ultimate high, right? To the ultimate low in the fastest amount of time possible. Even when I was filming, right? I would say we started filming in February. I would say around April, I was already in that low. I knew what was going to happen. I knew the women, specifically certain ones, were getting me kicked off the show. They had this plan. I already knew. So I had been dealing with that while still filming. So for me, the high to low was 2 months.
Wow.
So, I really just kind of, I mean, even BravoCon, you were there. That wasn't even a normal experience for a Bravo celebrity. It was I was alone.
You were isolated.
Yeah, I was isolated. I was separated from everybody. I wasn't invited to do panels. I wasn't allowed to do press with my cast. I mean, at the Bravos, like I told you before, they had me on one side of the building. They had my cast all the way on the other side of the building. And I don't know if you remember this or not, but at one point, my entire cast got up together, all locked hands, and walked in front of the entire freaking building together, all holding hands. So I don't feel like I ever really had this sisterhood, this you're not alone, we got you, this whatever. Now, to be fair, the cluster that BravoCon was, Whitney, and she got in trouble for this, but she actually was very kind to me at one point. And she suffered repercussions from Heather for that. And Meredith, I ran into her once and she was very kind to me. So again, I don't want to put this on all the cast. We all know who I'm referring to. But so what I'm saying is I don't even think I don't have the proper experience to be like Jason, for instance. Yeah, like Jason, that was probably his life, that was years and years. That was crazy experiences. That was dedication. I don't know. For me, it was 1 season. again, I just come back to, I had 2 months of a high to a low. Really.
I don't know if this is off topic or not, but would you consider yourself a girl's girl or a guy's girl?
I already know what people are thinking when you ask me that. But the thing is I do consider myself a girl's girl, but with
Why
my
are you laughing
friends.
when you say that?
Because I know people are like, "Oh, she's a piece of shit. She's not a girl's girl. She's, a troll, and she's this and she's that." And like, yeah, sure. Two things can be true at the same exact time. I made really fucking bad decisions, and I thought I was doing it with a good cause. Like, I was like, this person is bad. I know what they're doing, whatever. But also, if you ask like the actual friends in my life and not my cast members, you're going to get two completely different answers. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I kind of like, and I'm not a fucking teacher or anything,
Right.
but I like have an exercise for you.
Oh, no.
You
Is this
have
therapy? Is this like therapy?
Yeah, you have to stop being so like, is it deprecating?
I'm very hard on myself. Oh my God.
You're so hard every time
I'm
we
like getting
talk.
emotional. No, I don't think people understand. People think they see one side of you. First of all, I was in a situation where I knew I wasn't wanted. Second, I was in a situation where at every turn, I was this horrible piece of shit person. And you only get to see tiny little glimpses. And no one is harder on me than myself. Like all the comments, there's nothing anyone can say that I haven't already said about myself. And I think that has been the hardest part in this is people see, one thing and that's how they've made me for my whole life. You know what I mean?
You kind of remind me of my dad a little bit because my dad is almost 300 pounds and he is the first one to walk into a room and make a heavy person joke. He always calls them his fat jokes, and he's the first one to make fun of himself and the first one to throw himself under the bus because he wants to beat anybody to the punch. And you do that to yourself a lot. Like you and I talk about this.
Yeah.
Like you're constantly ripping yourself apart. But I think that at some point, like we see Stassi Schroeder and Kristen Doty, who called the police on Faith Stowers, a Black woman, because they thought that they saw this person who had the same jacket on the news robbing people and that it was Faith. So they didn't understand what they were doing. Then you see other people who are getting in trouble, like, you had Ramona Singer, who got in a lot of trouble with Ebony K. Williams. You've had so many people fired and canceled, but yet Ramona comes back on Ultimate Girls Trip. Then you have Stassi. She just landed a new show, a docu-comedy on Hulu. Kristen Doty is on the Valley. So I think that the best, and even
Phaedra Parks, right? I mean, that was insane when that all went down and she's back,
That was insane. Saying that somebody is potentially drugging someone to take advantage of their body.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, no, that's a great point. But I think at some point, like I even when starting this podcast with you, I've had so much love and support. And then I've had a lot of people who say, Adam, I'm not listening to this because she did reality Von Tease. And I think in my head, I'm like, I understand what you guys are saying when you say that. Like, how could somebody do that? But then I'm like, you're looking at that from somebody who's under a microscope of a camera that's on television. But really, what the fuck have you actually done? Mm-hmm. What have you done? Because I can go through every member of my family and I have 11 brothers and sisters. When I sit at Thanksgiving, like the dinner, and I have somebody sit there and pass a little bit of judgment, I'm like, please do it. I want to see you do it. Because it's like, what have you done? You're so quick to get behind a keyboard and you're sitting there. And at this point, if you could take it back, you probably would. Yeah or no?
No, I absolutely would.
Okay.
It's hard because at that point in time, we were so engrossed in the situation that we were in with her. We weren't thinking straight. We weren't making good decisions, right? I think everyone has been there, though. I feel like we've all done things at periods of time in our life that we're like, okay, yeah, probably shouldn't have done that. But at the same time, I mean, when people come out and they're like, you're mentally ill and you shouldn't have children. And I'm just like, okay.
No,
Like,
it's so aggressive. It's like
what are we mentally
unmatched.
ill? Like, no, mentally ill people are literally unaliving people. Mentally ill
What
people
is
are,
unaliving?
I don't want to say the word.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Do you know what I mean? Do you don't know what unaliving means?
I'm Googling it now. Please carry on.
I'm just saying, like, to actually classify someone as mentally ill for having a snark page, which is actually very common. So many people have snark pages. And look, I'm not saying it was right. I'm not saying I should have done it. I'm not. Yeah, exactly. That's
Got it.
mentally ill, though. Do you know
Okay.
what I'm saying?
Got
Like,
it.
come on. Come on. Like, I think the level of hate for it, especially when, like, in the world of Housewives, comparing it to other things that Housewives have done, it's just bizarre. I don't
You're
know.
saying the punishment doesn't match the crime. And that's kind of like at the end of the day, you know, like you've been punished for it. I sit there and I read some of the comments and I'm like, even when people say shit to me, I'm like, guys, you know, like, what do you do we need to burn you on the cross?
I
Like, I
know.
don't know what else to do. So
It's
at this point,
crazy.
I'm just saying, as grateful as we are, especially with our first episode hitting 17, and we don't even know if it's going to go up or go down from this point because it updates every, I think, like 5 or 6 hours. So we're going to see. But hitting number 17, it's like so incredible. We really hope that you guys continue to listen. But if you don't, and it's something that you want to continue to just like, God damn it, Monica, you fucked up, then okay, maybe this is not the podcast for you. But the best part about this is, because I can also be glass half full, is that you guys have 500 fucking million other podcasts to listen to. So you are in luck. Now, where we were really going with this was life after being on reality TV. Is it hard to integrate back into normal? Because a lot of people, and I've seen so many comments of people giving you shit saying, Monica is so thirsty. That bitch needs to do a podcast. She is just trying to be relevant. And she need, like, my God, they eat you. You are literally like,
it's insane.
You get eaten.
I get massacred. I mean, I literally got more hate from my cast and everybody than Jen did for what she did, which is physical assault and literally robbing the elderly of millions. But I think, again, if I was someone like Teresa Giudice, for example, or Vicky Gunvalson, or even like someone on my cast where they've been doing it, you know, for 5 seasons now, I think it would be harder for them. For me, it was so like, you know, I just, it happened so fast. It was over so fast. And I think the thing that's frustrating is anyone that was in my position, I feel, would be trying to do the same exact thing. And if not, they should. Like, you should be trying to push through this. I still have 4 children I have to provide for. Like, what do you want me to do? You just,
my question is like, why, I guess more importantly, why wouldn't you try to make a dime, a dollar? Like, why would you not?
It's like, you're mad at me for not working. You're mad at me for working. I'm not a good mom if I don't work. I'm not a good mom if I do work. You know, there's this whole, you know, it's exactly like in the Barbie movie when, you know, she gives her insane monologue. It's so true. Like, we just cannot win. What do you want me to do? Like, you know, everyone's like, you're just trying to hold on to the last 5 minutes of fame or whatever. And it's like, yeah. And I would encourage you to do the same thing. Do the same exact thing. Start a podcast, launch a brand, like, do whatever to support yourself and your family. And I don't have the show anymore, but I'm not just going to sit in my room and do nothing. I do also like, this is crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
The other day, Wesley, I picked her up from school and she said that one of her teachers was like, I love your mom. You guys are on TV. And Wesley was like, yeah, but my mom got fired. So we have these little kids. I have these girls that are so impressionable that are watching me. So do I want to just sit there and crumble and cave and watch, my kids watch me completely fall apart? Or do I want to show them like life goes on, turn something horrible into something good, push through it?
Own
There's
it.
another side, own it. But I have little impressionable people watching me 24/7 that are very well aware of what mommy is going through, and how I choose to handle that is going to leave such a big impression on them. I could sit in my bed, I could cry all day easily, or I could get off my ass and try and do something in some way to salvage this. And I think it's insane to completely knock someone down, especially a mother trying to do this for her kids on her own, for doing that. I don't know. I don't understand that. I really don't.
Do you remember, especially because you have kids, but like when they would bring home like the circle graphs where it would be like there was one side, the other side, and then when the circles would connect, there was like the stuff in the middle?
Yeah.
So if somebody asked you to classify yourself as one side of the circle graph, a villain, the other side, a victim, do you land on one of those sides, or are you somewhere in the middle of like, it's growth, it's I fucked up, I'm apologizing for it, I move on, like if I could go back and redo it, because really that is sort of the makeup of Housewives. It's all conflict resolution. This is the reason that Real Housewives in New Jersey is up for a reboot right now, because we have no resolution. And resolution comes in so many different forms, especially one of them being, man, I messed up. I messed up. I'm owning it. And I'm trying to do better, because that happens.
That's life. That is reality. So
Not
I think
Bunties, but yeah.
punish me on reality TV for actually being real is funny. But I think I'm definitely don't see myself as a victim. Everything that happened to me was self-inflicted because of the choices and decisions I made from my past. I've been very, very clear on the fact that I 100% believe in karma. And
Do you think you got your karma?
1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. I got my karma by what my best friend did to me. I got my karma by how those women decided to move forward with me. I got my karma by Bravo not renewing my contract. I got my karma by the entire world finding out what I did and being on such a ginormous. I mean, can you imagine, honestly, it's so easy to sit there and tear me apart, but imagine being put in front of the entire world with your biggest secrets for everyone to know. It's not easy. And I'm not saying I knew it was going to come out. I knew that was going to happen. I still chose to do what I did and go on the show. But I'm just saying, like, can you imagine if we just got to hear everyone's deepest, darkest secrets and what they've done in silence? And, I mean, it's just, we're all freaking human. I feel like such a different standard. Perfect example is honestly Heather, right? And the black eye and how she chose to handle that, and lying to everybody and lying to investigators and da-da-da-da-da. Completely different standard.
Well, and to be fair, I just want to kind of piggyback off of this, because I'm not somebody who had a dog in that fight. But as somebody who covers Bravo, I always say I do a lot of R&D for Bravo with my comments and my polls, and like they can see who's a fan favorite, who's not, where the audience is leaning. I know that I have a lot of Bravo people in my live chats. It's inevitable. I've seen it. I've talked to people. I know that they're there. But when I hear about shit like what Heather did. And honestly, I was a huge fan of Heather. I don't care now.
I know. Yeah.
Not a big fan. I don't care. And that has nothing to do with you. Literally nothing to do with you.
Oh, I know. It's literally because of your own personal experience with her. I know that.
1,000,000%. Like, this is not oh my God, I did a podcast with Monica, so I automatically hate Heather.
Yeah.
And I don't hate anyone. But Heather, to me, was such a jerk off. And then I sit there and I watch what you did when you alluded to the fact that production potentially gave you a black eye and you got away with it.
Yeah.
Which to me,
you got center snowflake. You got center snowflake for it.
And center snowflake. Yeah. You got away with it and you got rewarded with the center snowflake. Yeah. I don't understand the thought process behind who's sitting at the round table at NBC and Bravo. But I do know, I think that, and I talk about this a lot on my channel, my show. I feel like they make a lot of not so great casting decisions sometimes, but also I feel like there is a big thought process behind it. And I think sometimes they think that they're making the right decisions. And for this is something that would have been such a fireable offense if you were working at any other job, blaming somebody for anything. You would have been fired on the spot. Like, it's like when Brandy Glanville slapped LVP or James Kennedy punched Tom Sandoval in the face. Any other job that you're working at?
Tom Sandoval punched Jax in the face, right? I mean, there has been,
Any other job, Portia dragged Kenya's ass off of the reunion floor. Like, any other job, you would not have a job.
Yeah.
You had a social media account. I'm not defending it. I'm not defending it
either. I think, and that's what I think is so frustrating is it's like, people are like, she doesn't own up to it or she's not. It's like, what are you talking about? I feel like I've owned up to it. It's kind of like you said, what more do you want me to? I don't know what else you want me to do. I lost relationships. I lost my job. I owned up to it. Everybody, like, I don't know what else you want to have happen to me.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. And, like, even moving forward, I saw so many comments just to kind of take us back of people saying like, oh my God, so desperate. You're starting a podcast or 2 podcasts. Because Monica has 2 podcasts. But like, you're starting I have 2 podcasts. But you're so desperate. You're trying so hard to be relevant. And it's like, like you said, going back to it, it's like, what the fuck else do you want me to do?
I know.
I'm trying to put food on the table for my chitlins. You know what I'm saying?
And like, a podcast is so like, everyone has a podcast. Like, what? Why is it's not even like I'm doing anything that like crazy or desperate or anything. Like, so many people have podcasts. Like, why?
They do, but not so many people are top 20. Let me just say that. Sorry, bitches. I'm just kidding.
No, I know. I can never win. I can never win. I will say though, it's very interesting because I do have so many people that absolutely hate me, think I'm all these horrible, terrible things, which is so funny because there's so much more happening in the world that is truly disgusting and disturbing. But my fans are also so insanely incredible and loyal, and they fight for me so hard. It really is like love or hate. There's like no in between. You either love me or you hate me, and both sides let me know.
Yeah. From your time on the show, would you say that, like, I just kind of want to pick your brain on, obviously this is isolated to only your cast, but
yeah,
I feel like everything is a lot of smoke and mirrors, right? A lot of show. I was telling you before I came on, I have somebody who I know who, guys, you're going to freak the fuck out over this. I have somebody who I know who runs a business. They bought a retired plane that lives in a hangar. They pay for the hangar spot. This is in LA. And they monetize by promoting it to influencers, where influencers get to, like, they will have a little trailer thing, pull the plane out, and then influencers walk on and they swish their hair and they're like, Oh my God, this is so crazy. Guys, off again, jet setting. Like I'm in it, but I'm out of it. And this is life. And I can't keep up. And hashtag like who needs first class? But it's like it's all bullshit because it's smoke and mirrors. And I feel like a lot of times we've heard for so many years, housewives,
Yeah.
people think that housewives just make a shit ton of money. And
Yeah.
what people forget is that they're 1099. So you have to pay taxes on the money that you're making. Not only that, but then you got to keep up. You got to have the fabulous life. You have to have, like, Heather Dubrow doesn't give a shit, but Gina Kirschenheiter might, you know? And so you were very raw about that in your season of Salt Lake City because you were buying a purse that maybe at the time you thought, I cannot spend the money on, but you wanted to sort of blend in with them. Do you feel like there's a lot of keeping up with the Joneses when you're in this realm?
I mean, yeah, I do. I think, you know, it's so funny because if you actually look, I feel like if you look at the evolution of Housewives from the beginning to now, I mean, they used to go on the reunion stage in leggings and a tunic.
I know.
So it's just morphed. And I think people forget that, but it's morphed into this glamorous, rich, lavish, but it didn't start out as that. It was like we were literally, if you Google some of the old confessionals, I wish you had one right now you could put up. It would blow your mind. It was like, I saw a meme that was like, went shopping at Charlotte Russe for my confessional look or whatever. And that's literally how they used to look. And now we have, you know, full-blown gowns with like lion heads as shoulder pads and like, you know what I mean? It's more
Chanel Ayan.
I love her. I love her. But do you know what I'm saying? So I think it has, you know, over time just morphed into this. I think every housewife maybe feels pressure to, you know, uphold this certain, mm-hmm. Yeah. I think so.
You know, by the way, going back to like my husband always tries to tell me, he's like, can you just give it a little bit of like, can you try? I'm like, I put number 7 moisturizer daily cream on my face. I did my blooming. Can you do your hair? No, you're asking too much. It's like people are watching and you have to try and you have to keep up with what people want. And I'm like, no, I'm so unapologetically. And where was I just at? I was at Starbucks, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was Monica was at Starbucks. I was at Starbucks. We were talking on the phone. I'm going drive through and the woman was like, hi, like, what can I get for you? Welcome. And I was like, can I do 2 shots of espresso over ice in a tall cup? She didn't hear. And then she's like, you don't want anything else in it? And I said, no, I love the shitty taste of espresso. Like, I live for it, but it gives me energy. And I said to Monica, I was like,
hardcore.
I was like, maybe I shouldn't talk like that, but I just am unapologetically like sometimes it works for you, sometimes it doesn't. But I would way rather be that than a Jackie Goldschneider on the Real Housewives in New Jersey who's sitting there befriending her actual friends and becoming friends with, I don't even know if I used that term right, but becoming friends with the enemy.
I don't think you did. Like befriending means like becoming friends with her.
Befriending her enemies.
There you go. Yeah.
And shitting on her former friends.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I meant. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. But I also think, don't you find it interesting too? Like, I really do trigger something in people because even my situation, I feel like I have never seen someone torn apart so much for being broke. And then you have Jen on OC, who's literally getting evicted for not paying $24,000 in rent, for getting her car repossessed. Her cast is literally calling her a squatter and stuff like that. But she is not getting close to the freaking hate online at all that I got for like less. Do you not find that so interesting?
And Gina Kirschenheiter, by the way. But can I tell you, I have something to compare it to.
What?
Lala Kent on Vanderpump Rules, when Randall Emmett was caught going in and out of Nashville and Miami with all of these different girls, she was cheated on, but she was also going on the show and she's like, I give BJs for PJs. And like the first night I met him, I sucked his, and he bought me a Range Rover. And that was what she gave us, like who she was in that moment. So when he cheated on her and everyone found out that he had a wife that he was cheating on with her, they didn't really have that like angst to jump to her and like be there for her and be like, oh my God, Lala, you're going to be okay, even though you have a daughter. Nobody did that for her. But then you have somebody like Ariana Madix, who she never really did anything wrong. She got cheated on and it's on CNN and it's like, it's not even national news. It's worldwide news.
Yeah.
You know, so I think it's situational. And I think for Jen Pedranti, I think it's because there wasn't really like a scandal behind her. And the woman is just like the sweetest woman. And we haven't seen.
So great. She's so sweet.
She's so sweet. We haven't seen a side of her like doing anything. So I think that they treat her different than they're going to treat you because they've seen that other side of what people claim, not even claim, but know what you're capable of with reality Von Tease. You know, you've done it once. Could you do it again?
But like capable of, I mean, okay, well, if you are abusing your staff and you are scamming the elderly and you are using transphobic slurs and you are throwing glass at people and you are, you know, I mean, what the heck? It's not like I went on there and destroyed good people. And I'm not justifying it, but we're like, it's like, what the heck? I mean, it really does blow my mind. It's so weird for me to understand because I don't think I'll ever understand. I really don't think I'll ever. I mean, even New Jersey, right? Allegedly, same situation or worse or whatever is going on in that franchise right now, not even getting close to the same traction. Do you know what I mean? It's so interesting.
Well, and also, you know, in Jersey, Jennifer Aiden was sharing screeners and all of these things that you don't do. You know that I'm sure Bravo told you when they sent you the episodes.
What do you mean when you say screeners?
Like when Bravo would send you 3 days before you like the actual episode of Salt Lake aired, and they would send you the screener. Now it has a password. I don't know if I had a password when you were like.
No, it did. Oh, okay. So you're talking about the episode.
The episode.
Okay. Yeah.
So her sharing the episodes with bloggers ahead of time. That way they would have the article to put out the minute that the show came on. Like that's also, you would think, a fireable offense. That's literally in a contract. That is a signed document that says, what the, you know, like Kelly Dodd wore a Drunk Wives Matter hat. And that was in the height of, you know, like it was literally when Black Lives Matter, you know, was going on. And it was a stupid, poor choice, but it was at her bridal shower. She wore the hat and Bravo ended up fining her for that. And she
that's why she was fired?
Well, I think that she was fired for that. And I think a lot of it was her political views that did not align with Bravo. And I think that there were multiple reasons that she was fired, but she was a great housewife and she made some silly decisions. And, you know, it's kind of.
Well, we all have done shit.
Yeah.
Every single housewife has done something, you know, we're not like, what, you know?
You kind of go down the line and you have Alexia Echevarria, who was married to Cocaine Cowboy. You know, I'm sure that wasn't her, but Alexia from Real Housewives of Miami.
No, I know who she is, but I didn't know she was married to a cocaine cowboy.
Oh, it was like a whole documentary on Netflix. It was like this guy from Cuba who is the father of her 2 sons, who literally was moving massive amounts of drugs into the United States.
This.
Oh yeah. It was a huge deal. And then
that's
apparently
her ex?
That's her ex. That's the father of her 2 boys.
Wow.
And like then you can go to each franchise and see people who have done some really fucked up shit.
Right.
But I'm not going to sit here and try to like go in and justify even more. But what I do want to go into from this point, because we're number 17, bitch. Number 17. I'm just saying, I'm all happy and whatnot, all proud. I did ask my audience if they had any questions.
Oh.
Yeah.
I have completely, and I've seen some really great and some really nasty comments, so I've tried to stay off of like the comment stuff. So I'm excited to hear these. What are they?
Okay. I'm just going to go through it. Ready?
Oh, God. Okay.
People want to know if there is a Mormon swingers culture in Utah. Like, do you guys swing?
I've never been asked to swing.
Maybe there's something wrong with you. Why is nobody asking you?
No, but I feel like what I did was I had an affair with my brother-in-law. So I'm like, maybe that's a different club. Like, I don't know. I feel like swinging happens here. Yes, for sure. I don't even know anyone personally that has done it though.
What is
but
it,
I
like,
also don't think that they're out here talking about it.
I don't understand how this works.
You know what? I will say.
Go ahead.
So I live in Kaysville, and there was like a ward out in West Kaysville where this whole swinging thing like blew up. So there was like this stake, I guess, where there was just like a bunch of swingers in it. One of the women like caught feelings. It turned into this whole thing. Anyways. So, I mean, I'm sure there's like a bunch of swinging stuff happening. I just don't. I don't know.
I learned from somebody in my family, and they're not swingers. They just educated me on this.
Yeah.
If you go into a grocery store and you're pushing a buggy and you take a pineapple from the produce department and you tip the pineapple upside down, you walk around and you just stroll around the grocery store. It indicates the upside down pineapple indicates that you're open to swinging.
I've heard that, but I've never seen a fucking upside down pineapple.
Yeah, we ended up like one day we pranked them and we put a bunch of like cutouts of pineapples upside down in their yards and different stakes. One night when they were, just Jason and I are assholes. But then there was another one where people in the neighborhood will leave their garage door cracked. And if you're in the garage, like the garage door cracked means that you're open to swinging. So then people will come and they'll put their little fingers under the garage door.
You are lying.
No, that's a thing. That's a thing.
Where? I've never heard of that one.
This is Google it.
No.
I'm telling you, this is the thing. I'm like looking at it and I'm like, I don't know if I want to listen. I'm not a swinger, but you're putting your little grubby little pee-pee beaters underneath my garage, and I don't know what your face is gonna look like when I open that garage. You might look like The Hills Have Eyes. You could look like fucking Cindy Crawford. You could look like Brad Pitt.
I'm sure there are so many. Like I said, can you imagine if every single one of us had to get up in front of the world and tell our deepest, darkest secrets? You know, I don't know anybody personally that is a swinger. I feel like there were
maybe you do. You just don't know that they're doing it.
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't think that they're open with it. I don't think that that's something that they are talking about. But also, I do know, Utah has that reputation. I don't know why. I really don't.
Okay.
I feel like a lot of people live like their sexual lives however they want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think because it's Mormons, it makes it a scandal. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe it has nothing to do with like people that are married that are swinging. It's because they're Mormons,
Yeah, you guys are like your own little breed over there.
Yeah.
Okay. So from there, Lindsay Lowry asked me, why did Monica totally clear out the Reality Von Tease pages?
What do you mean?
Did you delete the account?
No.
Is it still
okay, last time I checked, the account is still there. actually don't even have access to it. I wasn't the one that set up the email and password, and nobody cleaned out that. I don't even understand that question. No one cleaned out that page.
I'm looking it up right now to see if Reality Von Tease still exists. It's, oh my God. Legitimately, hold on, guys. I'm presenting. If you're only listening on the podcast, you can go to Up and Adam channel 2 and watch it on YouTube. Oh, I get a follow back. But no,
it's still there.
Here. Yeah, it's totally still.
Wait. Okay, wait. Can you click on it from here?
What?
Like, could you click on a post or no?
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Scroll down.
Okay.
Keep going. Okay, what's that one with Heather? What does that say? Is that Heather?
No, that's Shannon.
Okay, then keep scrolling. Okay, the only thing that I can think that this person is saying is they think that we deleted maybe stuff about the other women. Nobody freaking deleted anything. Everything that's on there is what's on there. No one cleaned it out. And I promise you, the people that were also involved in this would have wanted to absolutely destroy my ass, and they would have left that shit up there. So I don't know, go through all the highlights, go through whatever. Nobody cleaned out that account. It is what it is. I'm assuming that people are saying that because the women were like, it tormented us. It didn't. It didn't. And I think people are thinking, oh, she cleaned all the stuff she said about the other women. We didn't say anything about the other women negatively. In fact, when we all started this page, we literally told each other, we are not coming for the other women. We don't want to start a war with the other women. This is about Jen. So, I mean, people are going to, it's so frustrating. It really is, honestly, so frustrating. Like,
well, you're not going to win this one.
I know. No. It's insane. It's
okay. Well, the next one says, has she made peace with any of the other ladies?
No.
Okay. Well,
literally just Mary is the only one I have any kind of communication with.
What are her thoughts on the whole Teresa and Jen Aiden reaching out to bloggers drama versus her own?
I would have to really do research. I don't feel like I know enough about that situation to...
They were feeding bloggers all of the storylines that were happening in real time while they were filming, and they were being leaked. Or if there was drama that they wanted to get out there and producers were telling them no, they couldn't talk about it, about one of their castmates because they wanted to get vicious, they would leak the drama to the bloggers. That way it would make Page 6 and all of these major media outlets. That way they could talk about it on the show.
I think that's very common. I think so many housewives do that. And I think to attach it just to me or just to Teresa or Jen or whoever, I mean, people on my cast do that. So
okay,
they asked me to do it for them. So like, that's actually really common. Yeah.
People also want to know, how is your relationship now with your mom?
Oh, there is no relationship.
Oh,
it's completely non-existent. We actually have not spoken since Reunion aired. So January, I guess. February, March, April, May, June, July, August. So almost 8 months.
Yeah.
I will never speak to her again. Yeah.
Well, that's sad.
She, we did have, and this was around that time where she was like, we have to fix this. We have to fix this. And I was like, okay, we decided to have a family meeting. And my children were also there. And we sat around the table at my house and we said, for this to work, there has to be boundaries. But I've tried boundaries with my mom several times. They never stick. And I said, we cannot bend. Like, this is it. This is my boundary. And she said, okay, what is your boundary? I said, I literally have one boundary. I said, stay offline about me and my children. Talking about me and my daughters and parenting and whatever, bashing me online, dealing with the other women, whatever. That's my boundary. Stay off Twitter. You say horrible things about me and my kids on Twitter. She literally looked at me and said, "I can't do that." And I said, "Then we have nowhere to go from here." And that was it. If you cannot, as my mother, stay offline from bashing me, there is zero growth that can happen from there. Zero. She said that in front of my children. It was insane. And that was it for me. So it's not like I didn't even try after all that. I just said, "This is where it's at." She said, "No." And I was like, "Goodbye."
Yeah. To be fair, that's not even a hard ask because my family sees my mom gets so passionate, man, so
Mhm.
passionate when she sees like the comments
Yeah.
on YouTube of me. And sometimes I actually feel bad for her and my dad because they read it and they want to fight the battle for me. But I
Yeah.
would never be on the other side of it to where they would be contributing to it. So I really
Mhm.
couldn't imagine that. But
Yeah. It's
even-
actually, it really is unfathomable. Like,
it,
I
re-
can't,
it
I
I mean,
can't.
it is. To say the least, right? And like,
Mhm.
I couldn't even imagine that. And even like if I have an argument sometimes with Jason, I'll talk to my parents and my family, and they treat him like we've never had the conversation. Like they will not overstep.
Yeah.
They will lend me an ear. Most of the time, 9 times out of 10, they love him and they tell me what a big asshole I am. And it's like that's what I get. But
Yeah.
it's never anything that would cross those lines, that threshold. And
Right.
so that makes me sad. But
Yeah.
okay, so next one is, has anyone from Shaw's camp ever reached out to you after you revealed that you were an informant?
I wasn't an informant. So people need to stop saying an informant is someone that is actually working with the government secretly to trap Jen by means of wearing a wire, doing deals with Jen, and then reporting back to the FBI, things like that. I was called to be a freaking witness. It is very different. And I was only called to be a witness in the case of a trial actually happening, which it never did. So I wasn't teamed up with the FBI wearing wires and setting up scams and collecting money on Jen's behalf to then report to, like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So were you fully prepared to fly to New York for that trial?
I was being flown to New York to prepare for trial. Yes. So
Oh,
I
me
was
too. Word. I was doing a
what?
documentary. Remember?
Yeah.
No, I
Um,
don't know why you always laugh at it like it wasn't happening. I was doing a real documentary. I was like Neil or Neville or Neva. What is the guy's name from Catfish Guys on MTV? Like
oh, I don't know. I never watched that.
yeah, I was gonna be like this, like,
No,
so
you were
can you
not.
tell us? Type, yes, I
He
was.
was never gonna do that. Okay, I'll let you live in your fantasy world, but yeah, that's the other thing is when the government decided that they wanted me to be a witness, um, and they were flying me to prepare for trial, I had to give them my telephone. Like, I gave them my cell phone. They went through everything. The first ever meeting that I walked through, I walk in the door and everybody is sitting there. There's even people like on Zoom that couldn't be there physically. Um, my lawyer was there and everyone had this binder. And I literally sat down and they were like, "Okay, let's start. Let's go to page 68, line 1B, whatever." And I'm like, "What the heck?" I like open the binder. It's all my text messages. Yeah. And I had to go and, go through every single freaking thing. And I'm like, if you think that I was scared to tell a group of women that I was reality Von Teese when I just had to do it in front of the freaking federal government, you're crazy. Like, give me a break. Cause that was the craziest thing ever, is having the government go through your entire history. you
Do you
know?
Yeah, I mean, it makes me wonder, like, do you think that when I did that interview with her that would have been brought up in trial?
I don't know.
Like her saying, I'm innocent. This is like the government targeted me because I am a woman of color. I mean, a lot of this was in the interview. I wonder if they would have played that.
Yeah, I have no idea because it never, it never went to trial, but they took me to the courtroom where it was going to be held. They were like, this is where we're going to bring you in.
You
This is
saw
where
the
you're going to
room?
sit. Yeah. They gave me like, they didn't want me to be blindsided on the day of the trial. They wanted me to have a lay of the land to kind of mentally prepare. And she ended up pleading guilty. So the trial never happened, but that is very, very different than an informant,
Did you know, were you already up in the running before we end up popping off of here? Were you already up in the running for Salt Lake City Housewives at the time that you were going into this courtroom?
So I was supposed to begin filming season 3, which is when production ended up orchestrating a dinner between me and Jen to discuss it. And then the very next day, the government was like, this is our witness or one of our witnesses in the trial. And then I could no longer film because of that. So I was supposed to start filming season 3. And then they decided, okay, she's going to be a witness. And she informed Jen's team that I was going to be a witness. So then I could no longer film season 3. So I guess yes. Yes and no, because it all happened so fast. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you got hit with the Mack truck. Wow. I feel like you got hit with the Mack truck, and I feel like you're like a freaking Mack truck yourself. There's a lot happening.
I feel like I've been taking hit after hit after hit. And I'm just grateful for it because I really just want the karma to happen and go. That's where I'm at.
Yeah. Well, shit. Okay, guys. I mean, Monica has another podcast and appearance that she is doing today. But for all of you guys who are listening, my God, I want to hear your opinions. Definitely drop a rating. Let us know what you think. And I actually don't mind leaving off with having so many questions in my head because we have so much time and so many episodes. How many episodes are we doing a week? Like, I don't even know. Like, what are we feeling like?
I told you, I said, that's up to you.
I'm kind of feeling like recording like Monday, Wednesday, and Friday because I feel like I could just do this and it's like easy. We just pop on and like put the shit out. And then now that we know that people want video, you get the video. And if you don't want to listen, I understand. But you're going to listen anyways, and you're going to hate listen, which is bullshit.
Yeah, no, I totally understand. People, I will say, like, the number one hateful comment I get is people hate my voice. So
really?
Yes. So I totally understand if people don't want to listen.
See, I wouldn't give you that hate comment. I would give you the hate comment of when I knocked on your door to drop off coffee and I saw your weave all like jacked up and shit. It looked like she had a Furby or a squirrel on like the left side of her head all natted up and shit. And I was like, I thought she smuggled animals into my home.
Oh no!
Or I thought my cat was in her house or in her hair. I didn't know what it was.
Your cat.
Yeah, you can still have her. I'll send her your way.
I want her. She's the sweetest little
Maydays.
She's so cute.
Before we go, is there anything that we have to end off on? Is like any last words before Friday? I
don't know. Did we even hit all our notes? I don't think so.
Oh, I was talking to Dorinda Medley yesterday. No, we did hit all of the other notes.
Good.
I was talking to Dorinda, and Dorinda keeps saying, like, you guys got to come to the Bluestone Manor and stuff like that. And I was like, how fun. I said this to you at the beginning. How fun would it be for us to record with Dorinda at Bluestone Manor during Halloween? Do like a costume thing?
That would be insane.
Wouldn't it be so much fun?
That would be so much fun. That would be amazing. Yeah.
And no offense to Dorinda. I love you, Dorinda. I don't even know where the hell the Berkshires are, but I'm all about going to Bluestone Manor. I want to see you make it.
They are either, but I'm there, girl.
Yeah. I mean, she flew all the way to the Southern District of New York. So we will fly to the Berkshires.
Yeah, okay. Exactly.
Wife. All right, guys. Well, if you're listening, then definitely, again, drop a rating. Thank you guys so much for listening. The next episode will most likely be on Friday or Saturday, but we'll keep you posted. You can always check in on Monica's social media or my own. You can check in on my YouTube for the community post. I post everything. And now I have my husband back home, so the posts are going to be coming in droves. Yes, they're going to keep coming. You guys are going to be all updated and whatnot. But Monica, see you later this week.
Love you.
Love you. Bye.